part one of this video series, how to start a blog in 2019. I showed you the evidence of blogging. We talked about starting a WordPress blog, and then we quite simply are just going right from scratch, clicking new post, and this is how to blog in 2019. We already did our title and our URL. You can go back to video 1 if you need to see how we did that. The next section is going to be your intro. Now, I'm going to show you how we can use this intro in multiple places on your blog to feed some of that technical stuff, the metadata that everybody's like, oh, what is that? Your meta description. I'm going to show you how to set it and forget it, make some of this stuff easy so that you can use your work in multiple places. So let me show you first of all. Over here, if you're using WordPress Gutenberg, which is my favorite editor for any platform, but WordPress Gutenberg, what you're able to do is when you click on document, you can see several things related to the page on this right-hand column. All right, now let me show you two different things. The first one is document. So this is all the stuff related to your document, which is your whole article. Block is anything related only to that content block. So WordPress Gutenberg uses content blocks. This is the magic of Gutenberg. And you're going to see in this series how I use all the content blocks. So if I were to click here, I've got lots of options to add a content block. We're going to go through some of those. So if I wanted to edit anything over here, this is the block. I'm going to edit that block, which is like the little section. Or here, I'm going to edit the whole document. Okay. Now, I like to start off with this when I'm creating my blog so that I can make sure that I'm hitting some important things. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that it's in the right category. Okay. WordPress is made up of a couple of things: categories, tags, actually a few things: categories, tags, and pages. Categories, let's just start with pages. Pages are kind of your evergreen content. They're like the about page, the contact us page, your privacy statement, any disclosures. Those are kind of what I use for pages. So I don't have a bunch of parent pages and child pages on my website, because primarily those pages are just those staple pieces that, you know, that people would use to contact us or to find out more about us. Okay. Everything else I do is done through the blog, categories, and blog posts. So categories, if you think about, here's how I like to explain it. If you think about a book, right? You've got a book and you open the book. So your book has a cover page. This is your cover page. This is your title of your book. Okay. And then your book has a little description on the front page or on the back of the book to tell people what the book is about. This is going to be your intro. Usually my intro is about 150 words. You don't want this to be lengthy. This is, why should anybody read your book? Right? Why should anybody read your article? That's what that is. Okay? That's that little, it's not a 2-page preface. It's a tiny little description. If you were to look at this book on Amazon, what's the quick little summary of what that book is about? That's your intro. Okay? Now, the chapters of your book are your categories. Okay, so chapter 1 is going to be about Lori Ballen, and I'm going to write all this stuff about Lori Ballen. That's chapter 1, right? That's going to be my categories, let's just say. Okay, so you only need different categories if you're going to be blogging a lot about that category. So let me give you an example. In the7thstream.com, on the7thstream.com, my website, the book, The 7th Stream, let's just say, is all about affiliate marketing. The whole website's about affiliate marketing. So it would make sense that I would have a category called affiliate blog, affiliate marketing, affiliate income, one of those types of things. Now inside, I just started this one, by the way. That's why there's hardly any categories. Inside, there's going to be all these chapters. So I might have a chapter all about marketing tools. I might have a chapter about SEO. I might have a chapter, but I'm going to write multiple things on SEO. Okay. Now, in this particular case, this piece fits in a couple of spots. It's about blogging, but it's also about keywords, which is about SEO, search engine optimization. So it can get rather tricky figuring out what category do I want to put things in, right? All right. Well, this is going to be about blogging. It's also going to be about SEO. So watch this. I'm going to go over here to add a new category. And I'm going to call this one search engine optimization SEO. And the parent category, I'm going to say there isn't one. And I am just going to put trying to think of why I did that affiliate income right there. That's okay. We'll just do it there. Okay. Now, what's going to happen is if you put these in multiple categories, Google's going to look at them as duplicate content. It's going to say, oh, she has this page on her affiliate blog. She also has this page under search engine optimization. Okay. Now, depending on what SEO tool you're using, and in my case, I'm not sure I put one on here quite. Oh, all-in-one SEO. Okay. So depending on what SEO tool you're using, this might choose for you a primary category to put it in. But if for a best practice, if you're not using any fancy schmancy SEO tool that separates that for you, just put it under one category. Okay. Now, if you want to use tags, tags are going to allow you to add even more segments. Now, what you're going to learn as we go through our journey together and you learn more and more about WordPress and search engine optimization, there's going to be functionality on your website that allows certain things to happen around categories and certain things to happen around tags. And you may get to a point where you'd rather use more categories than tags or more tags than categories. But what tags are kind of like little tiny keywords that, you know, you're not really going to create a whole section for this. You're not going to create a whole category because it's not a major thing, but you know, it might still be relevant. So let me give you an example. SEO. All right. We're going to create a category around that. I'm going to write enough stuff around SEO that it's going to be an important thing to add a category around. Keyword tools. Yeah, I'm probably going to build a category around keyword tools, but because I'm going to cover a whole bunch of them very specifically. Okay, what else? What might we talk about in this blog post that would not be a major category? Well, all right, we might talk about the free keyword tool, Keyword Everywhere, and this, maybe I'm going to reference that, or maybe I'm going to dive into teaching that tool a lot more. And so it might be important for me to go ahead and have that tag there. So I type in the keyword and I hit enter. So I'm not going to be creating a whole category around it, but you know, maybe it's still going to be relevant. All right. I'm going to talk now. You might do these after you do your blog, but I'm just kind of showing you what's on that right-hand column. You might do Google Suggest, because we're going to talk about how Google Suggest is part of this free keyword tool. We're going to talk about Quora. Whoops. Okay. Why are these not? Hold on. Quora. There we go. All right. Google Suggest. Okay. So you kind of get the idea. So they're not going to be enough that we're going to create a whole category around, but I want to mention them. I want if anybody's looking at a list of tags that they could still kind of search and find those. Okay. So that's why I'm going to use those. Well, I'm going to cover more about that. If you're just learning how to blog, don't worry about it. Just put it in a category, leave your tags blank. You can come back to these later and do all of your editing, and they're not going to make a big difference in your SEO today. I just simply want to show you what they are so you don't get paralyzed when you come across that on the right-hand section. You are okay to just leave that blank. All right, go ahead into the third video now in this playlist, and we're going to continue on to the next section in the right-hand column.